Thanks for allowing me to share this experience with you, first of all. I grew up in a very small town in the Texas Panhandle called Perryton. I had parents and a sister who loved me and did everything they could to show that love. However, now that I'm a grown woman, I look back and realize that my family, including me, suffered from a deep lack of self-esteem and painful depression that permeated all of our lives. I began practicing Nichiren Buddhism in 2001 at the age of 27. This wonderful practice came at the perfect time, as I had just escaped an abusive relationship and the loss of my core group of friends as a result of that relationship. I was completely ashamed of myself and who I had become. On February 15th, 2001, my sponsor, Kyoko Diermeyer, are you here? She's here! She's my hero. She is my hero. So Kyoko Diermeyer took me to my first SGI meeting in South Austin at the home of Helen Bro, who is also here. Helen. Where are you? Oh, Helen, I love you. I will never forget the first time I heard the rhythmic chanting that filled the room when we walked into the door that evening. I felt like I was home. Like a warm blanket of golden light enveloped me, and suddenly, for the first time I can remember, I felt truly safe. I couldn't wait until the next meeting, and from that moment forward, I never stopped chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. There was so much I needed to change, so much I wanted to change, and intuitively, I knew that this practice was the way to do it. In 2007, I was married to a fellow member from San Antonio, and I moved to Los Angeles to make a home there with him. Though I had been practicing at the time for almost 7 years, I still had a ways to go to break through my intense lack of self-esteem and what I found out later was clinical depression and an anxiety disorder. Were it not for my practice and the sincere and committed support of SGI members, I believe I would have had a nervous breakdown. My husband at the time and I had the normal struggles of newlyweds, but soon our problems seemed to only escalate, and we were not reaching many resolutions. I chanted so much about this every day and received regular guidance about how my faith and practice of Nichiren Buddhism and study could help me move forward with confidence. Finally, we decided to divorce, and I moved to a tiny cottage in a small town near LAX. I decided that my reason for leaving and my ultimate goal was to reveal the true Holly, and for my now ex-husband to do the same. I guess you could say I renewed my commitment to cast off the transient negativity, the low self-esteem, the depression and anxiety, and reveal my true nature as a truly happy human being, a Buddha. I made a very long list of all the things I wanted that I had been afraid to wish for, including overcoming the depression and anxiety I experienced, having a healthy body, as well as financial and career goals like working from home and paying off all my debts. I also had a very specific and very long list of the qualities I wanted in a mate. As things sometimes go, I got off to a raring start, but soon after, the depression and anxiety took over, and I was missing regular SGI meetings, not really chanting much on my own, and had started drinking. That was the biggest shock, as I had never been much of a drinker. But the relief of stress after a few cocktails was so great that I began to drink more regularly. And next thing you know, I was in the midst of my inner darkness. 20 pounds overweight, physically ill, and just able to get the basics done each day. Shower, eat, work, drink, sleep, sansho, repeat. Many times during this vicious cycle, I would reflect for a moment and think, this is really gross. I don't like this. I don't want this. Renge Kyo. Chanting Myoho Renge Kyo will therefore enable you to grasp the mystic truth innate in all life. Having read this over and over many times throughout my years of Buddhist practice, I promptly continued putting off addressing my problems through faith and instead focused on the fact that my new favorite summer drink was now a cocktail made with sweet tea vodka. It was delicious. But that brought me no closer to perceiving the mystic truth that is originally inherent in me. Soon, though I had begun work at a well-paying full-time job in Los Angeles, I had become so deeply in debt that I couldn't afford to live on my own anymore, and decided to move back to Texas on Christmas Day, 2011, to live with my family in Bastrop. I began doing... Happy to be back. I began doing temp work in January, and a week or two in, I took a receptionist position at a truck dealership in Buda, Texas, called Rush Truck Center. On February 15th, 2012, exactly 11 years since I began my Buddhist practice, Michael Donahue, right over there, walked in the door of Rush Trucks Buda. He worked out of another Rush location, but had some business in Buda that day. We had a brief but interesting conversation, and after he left, I thought I felt something. Well, he felt something too, and asked me to dinner 2 days later, and 1 year later to the day, February 15th, 2013, Michael asked me to marry him. I said yes. Michael received his Gohonzon on August 2nd, 2012. Exactly 3 years to the day that I received a new Gohonzon after my divorce. Yeah. I am now chanting together with Michael in my wonderful Live Oak district. Yeah, with appreciation for my life every day. And I have consistently checked one huge goal after another off the list I made in my dark times in 2009. My anxiety and depression are under control, with medication and regular counseling, not to mention a lot of chanting. Michael and I have both started a new exercise and diet program and are both feeling strong and healthy. I now enjoy a new career working from home and have paid off all my debts except for one. However, I'm able to make regular payments on that one. It feels good. And as far as my very specific and very long list of the qualities I wanted in a mate goes, I have checked off the whole list. Now that was something I thought was truly impossible. So it took a while, but I finally cast off that transient unhappiness and revealed my true nature as a Buddha. And though it's a struggle every day, through faith, my practice and study of Nichiren Buddhism, and the support of the genuine and undaunted friends in faith I have here in the SGI, I am able to sincerely renew my vow to become happy and to help others become happy too. And this is my greatest joy. Nichiren writes, when deluded, one is called an ordinary being, but when enlightened, one is called a Buddha. This is similar to a tarnished mirror that will shine like a jewel when polished. A mind now clouded by the illusions of the innate darkness of life is like a tarnished mirror. But when polished, it is sure to become like a clear mirror, reflecting the essential nature of phenomena and the true aspect of reality. Arouse deep faith and diligently polish your mirror day and night. How should you polish it? Only by chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo. Right? So when I follow this advice to the T, I get really happy. And when I get really happy, I feel like dancing. So please join me in celebrating the unlimited happiness of chanting Nam-myoho Renge Kyo together with this beautiful organization called the SGI. Or not. Here we go.